What's up, guys? Cornshake02 here with another edition of What's New WWE Extreme Rules. 2016 just went off the air, and I gotta say, it was a pretty solid show. I love that they switched around Payback and Extreme Rules. That felt like going from WrestleMania right to Extreme Rules was a little too much. So I'm glad that they did that, and man, did it pay off because tonight was really good night for professional wrestling. We started off with the kickoff show, which had the Dudley Boys come out and cut a promo about ECW for some reason, and then basically Big Cass came out there and beat the living hell out of both of them, and yeah, so that was that. So Big Cass is going over a lot these days, and it looks like Vince McMahon or somebody likes Big Cass a lot because he's been on the show destroying destroying people left and right for the last couple of months since Enzo's been out. Next, we get to the kickoff match, which was Dolph Ziggler taking on Baron Corbin in a no disqualification match. The match was okay. It's probably the worst match of the entire night, actually. And it wasn't really because of the two performers. It was more because of the time that they had. This match started around 7:40, like 45, so they barely had any time to work. But the match itself was okay. Basically, it's a lot of what we've seen in their other match that they had. But the ending was pretty good, though, having Baron Corbin hit a low blow on Dolph Ziggler right into the end of days. We really don't get to see low blows very much in the WWE anymore, but we saw it here tonight, which was pretty good. It was a pretty good finish of that matchup. We get into the actual card. It is the Usos taking on the clubs, Gallows and Anderson, in a Texas Tornado match. This match is actually pretty good. This match was very smash mount. A lot of huge super kicks and boots and knees just about everywhere throughout this entire freaking match. And I love tornado tags. We really don't get to see those kind of matches a lot, so it was pretty enjoyable. Got two. One of the biggest spots of that entire match was they went for their Buddha Doom. One of their tag finishers, the Buddha Doom, and Anderson literally ran off the apron and hit one of the Usos off Gallows' shoulder into the freaking barricade. That was sick. Next, but to end this matchup, there was I believe they hit they call it the Magic Killer. I believe it's the move they hit. The pin one of the Usos. So at Gallows and Anderson win this matchup. Next was the Next was the United States title match: Rusev versus Kalisto. This match was a very, very dominant showing for Rusev. He really went out there and beat the living hell out of Kalisto, going over strong. Kalisto got a little offense in, but most of it was Rusev. The beginning of the end of the matchup is I think Kalisto was going for some kind of like a top rope Hurricane Rana or Frankensteiner, and Rusev threw him over and his back hit the middle of the apron. He got him back in. The ref was trying to check on Kalisto because he wasn't moving a lot. They wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let Rusev get in there. But Rusev would move the refs out the way, put him in the accolade, and within 2 to 3 seconds, Kalisto was tapping out, and now we have a new United States champion, and his name is Rusev. So we better enjoy this next Monday Night Raw because we know that the Raw after this, John Cena's coming back, and I got a big feeling, a really huge feeling on Memorial Day, John Cena's gonna win a U.S. title match, and Rusev's gonna be in some trouble. Next was the WWE Tag Team title match. The New Day taking on the new number one contenders, the Vaude Villains. This match was actually really good as well. Thanks for actually changed up. Usually we see Big E and Kofi Kingston are the ones who usually do all the tag matches. We actually got to see a little bit more of Xavier Woods, which I really, really like. I think Xavier Woods is really winning over the WWE WWE people in the back because of the up up down, the success of up down down, and all the other promoting that he does. So they let him go in there and have a pretty good match against the the Vaudevillains. Um, the match would actually they would actually hit. It was so good. I think they got so much trust in Xavier Woods that he actually kicked out of the Vaudevillains finisher, the Rolling Dervish. Um, but eventually, things would break down, and Kofi would get a distraction to I think it was Aiden English, and then hit the Shining Wizard to retain the United States. I'm not the United States, the WWE Tag Team titles. So hopefully, coming up next will be uh, the New Day versus Cass and Enzo. Hopefully, that's next up. Next, we saw the Intercontinental Fatal 4-Way match between the current Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Cesaro. And my God, this match probably was one of the best. I don't know if this was the best match of the night. It was a close second because this was all out action from the beginning of the match, from the bell all the way till the bell was rung again. I mean, it literally starts off with Sami Zayn just charging at Kevin Owens with the haluva kick, taking him out. Cesaro takes out the Miz. They start going at it. We got the Tower of Doom. Awesome counters. Cesaro kicking out of the Skull Crusher finale. One point where Cesaro had the Miz like up on the ropes, and then Kevin Owens hit him with a freaking frog splash play, hit him like that. Uh, I think it was at one point where Cesaro hit his Cesaro swing, and he for 20 rotations into the sharpshooter. Maurice got involved. I mean, this match had everything you can ask for in it, and it's probably, in my opinion, man, this match was definitely one of the most exciting matches of the entire night. Every single guy, even the Miz, went out there and they just tore the house down. In the end, I think it was. I think the Miz was like going for some kind of move, and then in the corner, Cesaro countered that, threw him to the outside, and then Sami Zayn hit the haluva kick on Cesaro, going for the cover. Kevin Owens pulled him out. Then they start brawling to the outside, and then Miz would sneak in and get the 1, 2, 3, and the Miz escapes again with the IC title. But my goodness, this match was definitely amazing. You guys really need to check. If you're gonna check out any of the matches on this show, definitely check out that one because it was just awesome from beginning to end. Next was the a match that I slept on, but actually ended up being really, really good, which was the first ever Asylum match between Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose. Now, what this is basically kind of like that TNA match they used to do. I forgot what it was called. Full Metal Mayhem or something. I don't know what it was called, but the one where they have like the weapons on the top of the cage, but I think the cage was like shut though. It's like more of like a Hell in a Cell kind of thing, and you get the you basically got the weapons from off of that. But this basically was a black steel cage with weapons hanging from it. So you had Mitch Jr., which was the potted plant, the kendo stick, a fire extinguisher, a bucket, a straight jacket, everything that was in that thing. They basically used everything. I thought they were just going to use. I thought they wasn't going to use everything, but they ended up using just about every single weapon that they had in that matchup. And my goodness, did this match deliver? This is probably one of my favorite Dean Ambrose matches in recent history, honestly, because he went out there and one thing Ambrose does very well is he's really good in matches where there's no rules, and this was no different. And same for Jericho, man. He showed his ass here tonight too, man. It was really, really, really good. It was points where Jericho was trying to like climb out the cage, even though you weren't allowed to, leave the cage. It's not how you win the match. He's like screaming at the ref to open the door and stuff, and the ref's like, "Oh man, I can't do it. This is a pinfall match." But they used everything, man. The kendo stick. Jericho tried to put him in a straight jacket at one point. They used the fire extinguisher. Oh man, everything. The barbed wire 2x4. Everything was basically used in this matchup. But the best part is Jericho, well, let's see, Dean Ambrose going to the top of the steel cage and hitting his patented elbow from the top of that. Then he went and got the bucket, and inside the bucket was thumbtacks. And this part they would like do like multiple counters trying to get each other into the thumbtacks, but they just kept countering. But eventually, um, it would be Jericho who would go for the code breaker, and he would get counter and go into the thumbtacks, and right after that, Jericho would hit. I mean, not Jericho. Dean Ambrose would hit the uh, the dirty deeds, and then onto the thumbtacks, and then go for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Dean Ambrose is your winner. Only thing they did not use was Mitch. Mitch Jr. was saved, so hopefully we see Mitch Jr. Tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Next was the Women's Championship submission match between the Women's Champ Charlotte and Natalia. Now we all knew that Ric Flair was banned from ringside, so basically Charlotte had to fend for herself. And this match was definitely very underwhelming. There wasn't a lot going on in this matchup. I've definitely seen better submission matches in my day as a wrestling fan, but I'll give it a benefit of the doubt. At the end of the match, though, the Ric Flair music would hit, and we would see somebody in the road. We would turn around, and I thought it was going to be Charles Robinson, but it wasn't Charles Robinson. It was actually a female. It was Dana Brooke for some reason. Came out there with the Flair outfit on and got involved in the matchup, distracting Natalia, and then eventually she got into the figure eight, and Charlotte tapped her out, and Charlotte retained her title. So I guess Dana Brooke is now with the Flairs, and yeah. So let's see what happens with that. Next was the main event of the evening for the WWE Championship. It was the champ Roman Reigns defending against AJ Styles once again, but this time in an Extreme Rules match. And this match, unlike the last match, this match delivered from beginning to end. Just straight up action throughout the whole thing. So many spots in this match. I'm trying to go over just a couple. One spot where AJ Styles like jumped from the apron onto the not the apron but the barricade onto the announce table, went after Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns backdropped him into the another table right behind him. That was sick. Um, the spear from Roman Reigns, like literally jumping over the steel steps and spearing AJ Styles at one point. The AJ Styles hits two Styles clashes in this matchup at one point. Man, there's just a lot, just near falls everywhere. The club got involved, then the Usos got involved. Um, and AJ Styles would go crazy on the Usos, hitting both of them back to back with just steel chairs to the back, steel chair shots to the back of the Usos, and then the Roman, and back to the Usos, and then to the Usos again, and they just went crazy. Um, but yeah, after that, AJ would go for the phenomenal forearm, a counter into the perfect mid spear I've ever seen. Better than Edge, better than anybody's mid spear I've ever watched. That I gotta give credit where credit is due. Roman Reigns' spear tonight was on point. He delivered that spear and retain his championship. He would raise his hand in victory, but before we faded to black, speaking of fading to black, guess who returned tonight? Yes, it was the man, the architect, the chosen one himself, Seth Rollins, returning from injury, not saying a word to Roman Reigns, turning him around, kicked him in the gut, hooked those arms, and delivered that pedigree, and saying a statement that he is back and he wants his championship that he never lost. And I am so excited that Seth Rollins is back, man. This definitely makes a lot of things interesting. And I cannot wait to see what happens tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, guys. But that is your Extreme Rules 2016 review. What was your favorite match of the night? Are you happy to see Seth Rollins back? Let me know in the comments below. Comment, rate, subscribe. Stay go, everybody. A peace.